And here we are, again for Tuesday. Isabella is here. Hey, great to see you, Isabella. There's more spanners than real people at the moment in the live chat on YouTube. Get your questions in about audio now, nice and early, by the way. We've got something new to show you during this stream. Hi, Tom. Welcome along. Good to see you there. If you're watching the replay, you can, of course, skip forward this 10 minutes if you like. Beta Media is in as well. Nice to see you. Who else have we got? David Silk, of course, who appears to have been annoying Nightbot. Scott Davis, hello to you. Joe's in with the spanner. We've got Ule as well. Acoustic Guitar M has just subscribed to the channel as well, which is nice. Joe was actually first in the chat today. Stand by, we're going live soon. Peter Young, sorry, logged in with the wrong account. That's okay. Hi Pete, thanks for posting in the community earlier. I'm going to be using your audio during this stream. And Scott Davis, wow, amazing. Before the show even starts, wonderful super chat to help support the show from you. Thank you very, very much indeed. A morning to you over there in the United States. There we go. A big cheer for you, Scott. And thank you very much. Okay, Ule is from Norway. He's a developer from Norway. Yeah! And hi Adam, thanks for subscribing. He's created something amazing we're going to use on the stream today. It's to do with questions and answers, by the way. So make sure to ask lots of questions on the show today. Just keeping up with the chat, Derek Filmmaker. Please call me Da Ian Shin. I'm a Korean student. Nice to have you on the stream today. Anthony Hall, good afternoon to you. And it's great to have Isabella back, isn't it? Khan Sharif is in from the Philippines, one of my subscribers. I appreciate you subscribing. If you're not subscribed, do please do that. Hit the subscribe button at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. English for Technical Aviation's in. Nightbot is in as well. Nightbot. Who banned one of our top contributors to the YouTube live stream, David Silk, because he posted too many emojis. There's just a warning for you. Do not post too many emojis. Nightbot will whip the spanner. That's a great question, by the way, Anthony. That's something we can definitely look into answering during the live stream. We've got a new tool to help with answering questions, created by the wonderful Ule, who's in the chat right now. Hope I'm saying your name right, by the way, Ule from Norway. Just let me know if I've got that right. Thanks, Joe, for sharing the community. Scott was on the site earlier. I need a drop or intro for my wife, but it's not typical. She's a karaoke queen. Wow. Isabella's got you. What's in the category for a karaoke queen? That's so cool. If you've just tuned in and you're new to this stream, by the way, let me know by typing the word new, all in capitals, into the chat, please. New, all in capitals, into the chat to let me know that you are new. Uli. You need to send me a pronunciation over the community. Send me an MP3 file so I can get that right. Hi David, good to have you back in the chat. Ole. Ole? Ole Henrik Stabel. Right? Love all the learning, just no time to do it myself besides yours. Are better than mine. Thank you, Scott. Joe's new. Wow, really? Stark and Craft Building. Hey there, I'm a French student, fan of filmmaking. Love your tutorials, never found a better channel. New. Welcome, Stark, and welcome. Love to have new viewers to the show. You're very welcome. You can see anyone with a spanner is either, well, mostly they're people who turn up regularly to the stream, so they can help you out with any questions. We're getting going in 3.5 minutes, by the way. And there is someone with a tick and a spanner, and that's a bot. It just kind of looks after things. Trying out Nightbot. Seems to be okay. A little aggressive at times, but seems to be okay. Okay, 3 minutes. If you're just tuning in, let me know who you are and where in the world you're watching from. Robert Shopov just subscribed to my channel. Thank you. Definitely get me an MP3 of your name. That would be excellent. We should make it a thing, yeah, to get the right pronunciations. I wonder how accurate Google Translate is. If I switch on Norwegian there, will it give me a good idea? Nice, yeah, let me know where you're watching from. Satoshi is in Singapore today. Joe's in Columbus, Georgia. Is that Georgia? Yeah. Okay, stand by. Just over a minute until we go live. Get ready.
Testing the left speaker. Left. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing phaser. All frequency sweep. Now. Stand by
for Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell.
MRC Live. Music Radio Creative Live.
With Mike Russell.
Starting in 30 seconds.
Hello there, I am Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com. It is fantastic to be with you today on this Tuesday, and I am, as you can see, all underwater at the moment. In the show, we're getting down to making underwater sound effects and playing around with a few phasers and rolling off high frequencies and bits like that to make it sound like we're underwater. And a big shout out to Pete, who has lent me some fantastic underwater sounds recorded on Pete's GoPro. So we can actually add some authenticity to the show today. So that's all coming up. A lot to get through in this hour, and you can see my microphone again. Hang on, let's just push that down. If you're listening on the podcast, doesn't make a difference to you. Podcast is available at mrc.fm/podcast. I nearly forgot the URL for the podcast. How about that? That's great. Okay, right. We are going to get straight into the screen share so I can tell you about a fantastic offer that's available to you only until Monday of next week, and that is your very own MRC FM intro, or Music Radio Creative Live intro. You know, the one you hear.
The left speaker.
This one.
Left.
If you've just tuned in.
Right speaker. Right. Testing phaser.
So all of that introduction stuff that we do at the start of the show.
Sweep.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Stand by for Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell.
MRC Live. Music Radio Creative Live.
With Mike Russell.
Starting in 30 seconds.
So there's the Adobe Audition session. Now, just this week only, you can purchase this for your own show, whether it be a YouTube live stream, a podcast, an online radio show, anything you want a huge build-up to, we can swap out MRC Live and put in your own custom show name or host name. All you have to do to get hold of this intro is go to mrc.fm/intro. That's mrc.fm/intro. How nice, and thank you moderators for posting the link there in the chat. You can get it this week only. The product will disappear. It's an exclusive product only for this week. So that's if you're listening now, which is the 15th of August, right the way through until the Monday afterwards, the year of 2017. Grab yourself that intro, enjoy it, and use it, and let me know how you get on. Now, usually I would get straight into the content, but I do have a very exciting new thing to show you. And I'm really excited about this. Usually I only answer questions during the show every 15 minutes. So 15 minutes in, 30 minutes in, and 45 minutes in. Yeah! But thank you, Shikas, for subscribing. I am going to answer your questions right now because I see there are already some questions coming in. Before I go to the big screen and answer some audio questions, I would like to give a huge shout out to, you can see him there with a spanner in the YouTube live chat, Ole Henrik Stabell from Norway, an awesome developer. He's the chap you might have seen, by the way, in the community at community.musicradiocreative.com, posting information about Adobe Audition, hidden secrets that I have to admit I didn't even know about, like under the hood hidden stuff inside the code. He develops extensions for Adobe Audition as well. So all around good egg, and has been on GitHub, very busy over the weekend. You might remember, I think it was on Friday, I said, wouldn't it be really good if we had a way of flagging questions that come in on the YouTube live chat? And I see there's also stuff on Twitch as well. Got to give the Twitch viewers a shout out. Hi to, is that Goose6L and Node X Alex? What specs are your Mac for doing music? It's an iMac, late 2015, 27-inch Retina 5K. So there you go. And Goo8L says 1080p is a bit too much for my lightning speed internet. Really? Can you reduce it down on Twitch? I don't know, but it's great to have Twitch viewers in. Really enjoying being on that platform, and Facebook as well. Similar way is saying Mike on Facebook. But anyway, back to this. So Ule has created, literally over the weekend, a Node.js web app that can flag YouTube live chat comments as questions. So, you know, I was saying the other week, I get lost, sometimes swamped in the chat. I love your chats, and please keep them coming in, and feel free to chat amongst yourselves. But I often get confused every 15 minutes trying to go through a big stream of questions. Some of them are not relevant necessarily to what I'm talking about. It's just chat, which is a great thing, so keep doing it. But we needed some way of having a moderator or a set of moderators flagging out questions that need answering about audio relevant to the show that we can include. So Ule's designed this fantastic app, and it does everything. In fact, what I can do is show you. This is the GitHub page. If you want to check it out for yourself, it is open source, so you can go over and favorite it if you'd like on GitHub by going to, or favorite it, star it, I think, star and watch it, mrc.fm/YouTube questions. Okay, mrc.fm/YouTube questions. Maybe you want to download it and spin it up yourself and give it a go, make some tweaks, maybe even contribute back to this. That's the idea of open source, and I'm a big supporter of open source projects. I mean, a lot of the stuff we use here at MRC is open source and hacked usually. So this is brilliant. I mean, Ule's just done a great job, and now I want to show you it in action. So first of all, I'll drag down the moderation tool, which is here. And as you can see, over one side, we've got the live chat spinning by, which is brilliant. And over the other side, we've got questions coming in on the live chat that have been flagged by one of the moderators, and then I can click generate lower third to place a question on screen. So I'm just going to go now to my big screen, and hopefully this will work. I'm just going to make sure it's all set up in OBS. I believe it is, and enable it. And now I can hopefully click generate lower third. Boom! There we go! Fantastic! So Ule has just designed this wonderful looking thing here that will show you front and center when you ask a question. And like I say, if you'd like to get hold of it for yourself or tweak it or contribute back to it, mrc.fm/YouTube questions. What a great contribution, not only to the show, but to the community from Ule. So, well, let's get into it. Anthony Hall asks, Mike, how can you edit or mask curse words out of a song? I could show you this, but it would probably take longer than 2 minutes. If I can show you something in 2 minutes, I will show you. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's a Twitch notification. I didn't know I get a zombie on the screen when Twitch. Thank you for following Goose6i, or whatever your name was on Twitch. You get a zombie running across my screen. Great. Yes, so it would take a little bit longer than 2 minutes. So what I'll say, Anthony, is there is the typical way of doing this where you can simply go in and put a beep in, like beep, beep, what a beep, beep, that beep is, like that. And obviously that's a 1 kilohertz tone. You can generate that in Adobe Audition or other software and go for it from there. But if you're working in a song, what I would say is it's great if you've got the stems, which I guess if you're producing the song, you probably do. So if you've got all the music, what usually happens in popular music, what I hear at least, maybe others will tell you otherwise, you can essentially take the vocals or the lyrics and then you can reverse them. So you go, what a that person is, kind of thing, if that person was singing. So usually you'd hear that on the radio. Or another thing I know with I was listening in the car with the kids on the way back, and I'm so glad they played the edited version of Pink, and it was One Last Kiss by Pink. You know, the I've had a day, you've had a day, that one. And they didn't do anything. They simply just cut out the curse word and left the audio blank with the music playing. So that's another way you can do it as well, just simply cutting it out. But I think it sounds better if you reverse it. So it's like, I've had a day, you've had a day, kind of thing. So just some ideas for you there, just off the top of my head. I hope that they help. Let's go to another question now from Maro GFX, and look at how smooth that transition is. I'm so amazed by this. Do check it out, mrc.fm/YouTube questions, and check out the code for yourself. So, Mike, can you make a tutorial about how to make these numbers change so smooth? Oh, you're talking about the numbers that count down at the start of my show. Generally, that's After Effects, and that's editing in After Effects. So yes, absolutely, let me get that into my list to do. But one of the best resources I recommend is to head over to somewhere like videohive.net. Videohive.net will give you access to a plethora of After Effects templates. So basically it's After Effects, Maro GFX that you want to be working in, and then you want to you want to start creating everything over there and searching for maybe a pre-made template that you can use to generate smooth numbers. So that's a really good idea. Talking about After Effects, while we're in the mood of After Effects, I wanted to play a contribution to the show from Juan, who's in Mexico. Let's just go over to screen share for a moment and see if I can play this, because this was generated. Let's open the QuickTime player and see if it works. It's just converting. This is a little After Effects project that Juan from Mexico did. Just out of the blue, sent it to me via a private message in the community. A wonderful animation of the Music Radio Creative logo, just to show you the cool things you can do in Adobe After Effects. This is a contribution from Juan. So there you go. It's kind of Music Radio Creative inside a spinning globe with a glow behind it, kind of like Music Radio Creative, the world. So great contribution there from Juan. I thought is really worth to feature as it's kind of appropriate. Right, let's do one more question for the moment, and then we will get into some of the audio editing that I'm going to be doing today. And again, look at this, fantastic! How great does that YouTube lower third question app that Ule developed work? Aramis says, Mike, if you go to System Preferences and open the Accessibility section, there'll be a panel in the sidebar called Zoom. Enable it and have a poke around in the settings to set it to full screen. If you go to the Accessibility section, there will be a panel in the sidebar called Zoom. Enable it. Oh, I think I know what you're referring to there, Aramis. Yeah, I have used this before when I've given live presentations, when I've been up on a stage using like a Mac. It gives you the ability to use a hotkey and zoom into parts of your screen, which you're absolutely right could be really, really handy when I'm presenting and I need to zoom into a certain part of Adobe Audition and show you something a little bit closer. So a really good tip there. That's accessibility in the system preferences on Mac OS. So Aramis, I really appreciate you and your question there. And just one time before we get into it, a shout out again to the YouTube live chat question flagger that I just used there to field those questions. Absolutely fantastic and good fun, and you can check it out for yourself and give it a star on GitHub at mrc.fm/YouTube questions. Okay, over here in Adobe Audition, I've got some great audio to play with for my underwater effects today. Let's go and drag in this lovely wave file here. And this is something that was dropped into me by Pete on the Music Radio Creative community. Pete told me that on the GoPro, he took his GoPro out and about in Austria, where he lives, and basically just dropped the GoPro underwater, I guess in some underwater casing, and we got this wonderful, wonderful sound. Let's fade it up and have a listen. Look at that, that's beautiful, isn't it? So I didn't know that GoPro could record underwater sounds so well. So this is basically totally free for me to use on the live stream right now to create. Let's have a listen what happens here. Interesting. So you can hear how it's going up and down from underwater to above water and then back down again. Same here. Wow, okay, that's cool. And again, in spectral frequency display here, if you right-click spectral frequency, there's the wonderful opportunity here to increase and decrease the resolution on there to take a look at different sections of spectral frequency. So you can zoom right in on some of those frequencies if you want to look at something in more detail. I usually have it set about there. We can see a broad spectrum of what's recorded. I noticed the GoPro cuts off at about 16K in the frequency range, which is very interesting. Pete is actually there in the chat and says it's only in case you drop your GoPro under the water. That's so cool that you can record waterproof. So let's go into a new multi-track session now and use this for our audio creation right now. So we're going to do a new multi-track session, and we'll call it Underwater, and then we'll have a play with some effects. We're going to dial in some effects here with the wonderful GoPro audio. Here it is, Underwater Mixdown. Let's put that in Sound Effects here, the Sound Effects tab. And what I can do with this, maybe first of all I might want to tart up this underwater sound, because it doesn't sound too bad, does it? But what we could actually do is, and I'll just move this over so you can see it, there is the opportunity here to use sound effects here. So I can assign that as a sound effect and then add various different essential sound elements to this to really smooth it out. So presets here, we can go to Make Distant. And you hear how that puts, let me turn it up a bit. That's a lovely little bit of reverb going on there. So that makes it quite nice. Make medium shot. Again, bringing it up close or really close up. Now that doesn't sound quite right. So far I like Make Distant because it kind of places the water in the background. But you've got other options here like In a Large Room. But then the reverb has been ramped up a little bit too high there. We've got a preset of heavy reverb at a setting of 7.3. So I think I'm going to go with Make Distant. We have the heavy reverb again, but it's at a setting of 5.0. And I can go over here to my effects rack. And instead of looking at track effects, I would go to clip effects and I would see the studio reverb has been placed in by Essential Sound to really dial in this underwater sound effect to make it sound good. So these are the settings we've got here, and if I dial this effect up and down, let's just try and zoom in on this for a second and show you my reverb. So I'm going to dial that up and down on Essential Sound, and you'll see how the settings move, and hopefully the sound of the audio changes too. So that's really interesting. I've never dialed in and out reverb on Essential Sound, but essentially what it's doing in Essential Sound is it's crossfading the dry and the wet. So being at 5.0, you're literally 50-50 dry and wet signal. So if I move the wet signal up, sounds kind of like you're in a deep ocean. So let's try that now here. Everything disappears into the background, and I dial the effect down, and you've got just dry sound effect again. So I think somewhere in the middle, towards maybe 7 might be good. Let's go for 7. Maybe a bit too much. Maybe dial it back down. Let's try it down at around 4, which again we're going 40% wet now. That sounds good. Okay, so let's leave that as it is. Now we've done some nice treatment here on the sound effects. I'm going to hop back in and start recording something on this voice process track. So let's do that. By the way, I will get to your questions again in another 10 or so minutes, so make sure to get any questions in that you have, and we'll use that lovely lower third app that Ule has generated for the stream to answer some of those questions. Now I'm going to stick here and get an input here from my mono microphone. So let's just riff on this underwater. Help me, I'm underwater. Oh, I really can't get out of this terrible situation. Oh no, I'm back underwater again. What's going on? I don't know which way to turn. Where is the exit? I can't find anywhere. I need to find a place to get up and breathe, and finally I might make it. Oh my goodness. Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while. So there's some riffing with the underwater sound effects, trying to riff in and out there where you can see clearly Pete comes up for a little break there, then back down underwater and then back up at the end. Let's trim this down and have a listen. So far you'll just hear that it is my speech. Could do with a bit of normalization, so let's normalize that and have a listen to how it sounds. Help me, I'm underwater. Oh, I really can't get out of this terrible situation. Oh no, I'm back underwater again. What's going on? Okay, obviously it doesn't sound like I'm underwater at all, does it, at the moment? So what we need to do is start putting some effects onto this channel here. And what we might do to start with is dial down automations. And I'm just going to try here. First of all, let's turn this to read so we get our envelopes enabled here. And what I'm going to do, for sake of ease, as I won't be using many of these tracks, I'm going to move the sound effects track up here and zoom in a bit so you can see just the 2 tracks that I am working with here. So let's zoom those 2 in, and I can now move this across like that for a little bit to make it nice and big for you. Okay, so what I want to do first and foremost here is go in and look at the track EQ, and the high shelf gain I want to start knocking off until we have that little breath. There we go. And I'm going to dial down the high shelf. Help me, I'm underwater. And of course, when you apply here in the envelopes, very important, any track EQ, unless it's an EQ that you've got in your Frex rack, you need to make sure you go to your mixer and switch the automation on, which is just here. Toggle the power state here on the track EQ, and then you should see.
Help me, I'm underwater. Oh, I really can't get out of this.
Watch the automation here. Did you see how the automation just flipped back up there? So,
help me, I'm underwater. Oh, I really can't get out of this terrible situation.
There we go. We'll try and make that a little more of a dramatic sort of change as we kind of slowly come out the water there.
Full situation. Oh no!
And then back under again.
Oh no, I'm back underwater again. What's going on? I don't know which way to turn. Where is the exit?
Okay, brilliant. So we've got some general high shelf gain that we're knocking off, which is, as you can clearly see in the automations here, it's knocking off the high frequencies. And there you go. If I make that big, you can see there clearly what's happening.
Help me, I'm underwater. Oh, I really can't get out of this terrible situation. Oh no, I'm back underwater again. What?
So that's the way you can easily write automations on here. If I wanted, I could do stuff like panning from left to right as well and write that on, because obviously the water kind of sounds nice and stereo. Maybe you've got like 2 microphones underwater and you want to do some of that. So again, I can go in, show my pan envelope here, and we can just start drawing some zigzaggy pans on like that to pan it across. And something else, something that would do this much quicker, is something like a phaser or something like that, some modulation.
Help me, I'm underwater. Oh, I really can't get out of this terrible situation.
So now you should hear that it's moving from left to right, but let's try something else on this track, and I'm going to go to track effects, add an overall track effect, and let's go for modulation. Let's take a look at the phaser, and I think if I remember correctly, yes, there is an underwater preset here. So let's give that a go. Let's just solo this track, take it off record.
Help me, I'm underwater. Oh, I really can't get out of this terrible situation.
Now, obviously, we need to take the phaser off when I come up for a breath, otherwise it's not going to sound too good. What the phaser is doing is this kind of sound effect.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while.
That's a weird kind of wobbly phase from left to right. We can change little bits about that, so...
Oh, my goodness. Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while.
So maybe dial the modulation rate down just a little bit. Upper frequencies, as you can see, have been knocked off here in this phaser. If we pulled them in, then you'd hear a lot more of the high end.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while.
And dial it right down.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while.
So something like that. And in some cases, we might actually want to go to the stage where we make the audio or the words being spoken a little inaudible, so that we can just completely reduce it to garbage. But let's have a listen now. If we take this off solo and bring everything back in. So let's do that. Solo that and solo that.
Help me, I'm underwater. Oh, I really can't get out of this terrible situation.
Okay, that's the point where we want to dial off the phaser, because it's not going to sound good having a phaser when I'm out of the water. That's again where we go to our automations here, and we want to look for the phaser, and then we want the, I think it's going to be the mix here of the phaser. Let me just check that. Mix, yep, 87%. So I think if we bring that down to 0 here and here, we're going to lose the phaser when I come up for air around here.
Terrible situation. Oh no, I'm back underwater again. What's going on? I don't know which way to turn.
And at this point, I'm thinking we could probably do with a few more kind of sound effects to really make this pop. Let me see if I can find a splash sound effect in our library. Something like this. Let's have a listen. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's just download that and pull in that water splash. And I need another effects track, so let's pull that effects track up. Zoom out for a second. Grab that sound effect track, pull it up there, and pop that. Oh, pop that over there. Okie dokies. Right, let's take some of this off solo so we can work from scratch. Here we go. Okie dokes. Right, let's get in there and see how this is going to work now. So a little splash here.
Oh no, I'm back underwater. Oh no,
And again, probably want to place some automations on there just to roll off some of the high frequencies on that splash. So let's try pulling that down. Mixer, and we want to enable the automation there. For some reason that's not working. Now why is that not working there? High shelf, oh, because I'm changing the high shelf frequency. We don't want that one. High shelf gain is what we want. And let's roll that down. And then just dial that down.
oh no, I'm back. Oh no,
So you hear how that just makes a difference, but obviously if I place that, so let's just duplicate that and bring that back over to the start here. The original sound effect I had,
I'm underwater.
that was kind of very, very fake, but when I start rolling off some of the high frequencies here, and you can see how this is working by going to, where are we? Going to our mixer and just double clicking this.
Oh no.
So those are the quick frequency sweeps that I'm doing
Oh no.
on the little splash there to make it sound more authentic.
Terrible situation. Oh no, I'm back.
And what I might want to do here, that's another part of the splash. I'm going to take that. By the way, getting to your questions in 3 minutes, so do keep them rolling in. I would love to see what you've got to say and feature you in a nice lower third in just a moment. I'm just going to take this splash sound effect and start a brand new file. Splash reverse, we'll call it. Or reverse without the E, never mind. And then we will paste like so. Here we go. And then reverse. That's the kind of sound I wanted. So splash reverse coming in here. And again, we'll need to do some frequency adjustments just to make it sound authentic. There we go. And again, rolling off some of the high here and gradually bring it in with EQ.
Oh no, I'm situation. Oh no, I'm back underwater again.
So there we go. Right, let's listen to that all in context before I zip over to some of your questions.
Help me, I'm underwater. Oh, I really can't get out of this terrible situation. Oh no, I'm back underwater again. What's going on? I don't know which way to turn. Where is the exit?
Great underwater recording, by the way. Thanks, Pete, for sharing that. Okay, let's hop back over and have a look here at the question. So that is a question that we featured earlier on, but I'm using a wonderful new web app that was developed by Ule, who you can see there in the chat on YouTube Live. He is currently flagging your questions, and we're taking them right onto the screen. All you have to do is just say that you want to ask something, and you can get featured. So let's see, like for instance, instance, this one I think is really nice. Orbas says, "Hey Mike, how are you?" I'm doing absolutely fantastic today. Swimming around in this underwater scene right now, which is rather wonderful. What else have we got? Let's go back to Anthony Hall, who's saying, where can I find chant sound effects that you're playing on the show? A couple of good resources that I can recommend for finding chants and cheers and any kind of sound effects, really. Audio Jungle is kind of a premium source, audiojungle.net, I think it is, of sound effects. Another place you may want to consider going to if you want to use something that's absolutely copyright free and really easy to use, create a user account on freesound.org. That is freesound.org. And if you go to freesound.org, one of the greatest things about it is you can join up and you can contribute your own sound effects. So that underwater sound effect that we've had just featured there, shared by Pete. I mean, Pete, you could easily upload that effect to Freesound and make it available to others using their projects. One of the best things I like about Freesound is, well, obviously it's free, it's community driven, it's all about sharing. But also if you start uploading sounds, not just downloading and using the sounds, you'll actually find there's a great community of people on there that will use your sound and they'll comment on your sound and they'll say, wow, that sounds fantastic. I've used it in this project, or this is amazing. Can we use it in this project? Or I really like what you've done there. So you get that kind of feedback and it's really kind of warm, just nice, fuzzy community to be involved in. And I delve in there often when I just want to grab a free sound effect. Often when I'm working here on the stream, I'll go to Freesound. And one place to go to make sure you're absolutely covered. In fact, I can show you, Anthony, on the screen share now. If I just go to screen share and show you Freesound here, if you search for anything like water splash, let's try that in Freesound. Usually I'm logged in, not at the moment, but let's just do a quick search. Loads and loads of different things here. You can go to Creative Commons 0 here, and this is brilliant because if you click Creative Commons 0, all of these effects have been attributed by the author as Creative Commons 0, which essentially means, I wonder if there's a description here. No, but if you look it up, essentially it means it's the freest license on the internet. It's basically the author saying, you can use it, I don't care how you use it, you don't have to credit me, just use it. So really, really cool resource there is freesound.org, and a lot of really good sounds available to you there as well. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's answer this one from Raza Gingpo, I think that is. What is the difference between the different types of reverb? That is a very good question. Well, there's your roomy reverb that sounds kind of nice like this. You've got a big spacious room. It sounds like I'm in a nice room, maybe a community hall or a church or something like that. And just my voice is reverberating and echoing off the walls around me. So you get a reverb like that. You also get the typical plate hit like that, which is a bit more wispy and like that. What else can I show you? Anything else? Oh, a spring reverb like that. This is a spring reverb. And back in the old days, what they do, that's a bit distracting that, is they would literally have a spring and a bit of metal mounted, and the voice would literally reverberate off that and create that springy effect on your voice. So there's another type of reverb. One of my favorite styles of reverb, they use this in pop music a lot, is the gated style of reverb. And it sounds like this. Hello, how are you? Is there anybody out there? That's often used in pop music, that kind of reverb, and also in spooky, I will get you kind of horror movies. So that's called a gated reverb. So many different styles of reverb. I'm just going through some of the presets I've got on my Soundcraft Signature 12 MTK. But of course, you know, you can really go for it in Adobe Audition. They have Studio Reverb, which is the best. That's the reverb I like to use 90% of the time. Convolution reverb that will kind of match your sound to a predefined and determined sound. So that could be something like, for instance, the settings of an empty cave or the settings of a classroom in a school or something like that. So really, really good stuff. This web app that Ule has designed is really working very well. I'm so impressed. Big shout out to Ule. And thank you, Emmanuel, for subscribing as well. Here's the source code here. You want to grab it, mrc.fm/YouTube questions. That's mrc.fm/YouTube questions. And I'll be very, very happy to have you contributing and developing this even further. I mean, a dream for this would be to develop it out and maybe integrate those folks over on Facebook, because I can see over on Facebook Live we've got Bob Skinner saying, hi all, having a little break from editing, thought I would watch and learn on the mobile outside in the sun. That sounds good. Sunny Ukraine, that sounds nice. Nitin, how to remove humming sound from audio. Ooh, if you remind me, I will show you how to do that just before the end of the stream. So in about 15 minutes, I'll remove some hum. So Nitin, stay tuned on Facebook Live. Bob, is kindly directing it to the website as well. Lots of chats coming in. So sorry if I don't mention all the chats in the comments, but I will definitely try and get to as many questions as I can because I have this fancy new plugin. You can check out the source code mrc.fm/YouTube questions. Let's go over and look at David Lewis here. He said, Mike, could you quickly explain the send and return on the mixer, on a mixing desk? Oh, that's a really good question. So sends and returns. Sends are basically, they're like you can have sends on channels on your mixer. So if you've got lots of channels, like you've got a microphone channel, you've got maybe an Adobe Audition channel, you've got a sound effects channel, and all of that, you are sending audio out somewhere. So for instance, on my Soundcraft Signature 12 MTK, I have I think 3 sends. I've got aux 1, aux 2, and FX return. FX return is this. It's currently my reverb. And I can choose what I send to the reverb. So that's a send. It's essentially, it's like sending, I don't know, pedestrians down a walkway or down a pavement to a one direction, to the eventual place. And then it gets returned when you open a fader that has a return on. So for instance, FX return is the return of everything I sent up the street. So all the pedestrians I sent up the street are then coming back on the return, if you see what I mean. Does that make sense? So if I say, right, I want to send the microphone pedestrian up the street, I turn that up and I send that to effects, and then effects take that sound of my microphone and return it via this fader over here. If I switch off the send on my microphone, there is now nothing coming out when I open the effects return. But if I turn up the send on, say, Adobe Audition to maximum and start playing some audio from Adobe Audition, and I stop playing on Adobe Audition, now that is getting returned only. But obviously, I quite like having the microphone with a bit of reverb. So imagine it as a two-way sort of street or something. You're sending stuff up, and then other stuff is getting returned on the return. Usually a return channel on your mixing desk, or it can be an output that goes somewhere. So an aux 1 output might be good for a mix minus use case. If you're sending audio, if you're podcasting and doing stuff like that, then you can certainly set up mix minus that way with sends and returns as well. David Silk, wonderful question there from David. Does the spring reverb work in the summer? I don't know. Let me give that spring reverb another go. Hello. Yeah, I think it's a little tinnier in the summer. It's a very good question there from David. Edwald S. Hi, Mike. I have to say the bubbles in the background are distracting. Are they? Ooh, sorry. Yes, the bubbles are a little bit distracting. I can, of course, change that. I do have the option to change it to be something a little less distracting and a little more relaxing. Something like this. That's a bit nicer, isn't it? So thank you, Edwald S., for contributing that. Orbay says, keep up the cool streams. Any chance you can do gun sound effects? It would be a great idea for a future stream, for sure. Absolutely. Raza has said here, what wallpaper do you use? I see it when you're using Essential Sound. Do you have a download link for it? Yes, you can have a look at my wallpaper if you like. Let me show you. Just get rid of Adobe Audition and this Chrome here. This is my isn't it? Oh, isn't that lovely today? And I can tell you exactly where I get my wallpapers from. And actually, I'll try and find you the exact resource, but it is actually a subreddit called Earth Porn here. This is the SFW Porn Network, which is the Safe for Work Porn Network. Nothing to do with porn, really, unless you like leering over pictures of mountains. And what I have is I found I'm sure, a little script on GitHub that works with most platforms, including Mac. And what it'll do is you give it a subreddit, and then it goes and pulls from that subreddit, I think every hour for me, and it finds the top post on Reddit, on your chosen subreddit, and then changes it automatically into your wallpaper. So at the moment, as you can see, what's this? Happy Little Trees is currently #1 on the Earth Porn subreddit in Sandy in Oregon, and I have it as my wallpaper like magic. And then as people post other stuff that gets to #1, I will get more. There's also a really good one called Space Porn, I think it is. And I have that on my second monitor, and this will publish like all kinds of really cool outer space photos and stuff onto your desktop. There are other subreddits, like I think there's one called Wallpapers. I use that on my MacBook Pro, and yeah, that's my current wallpaper on my MacBook Pro. And I'll try and find the script for you. I know it's a little bit off topic, but I know most of us are geeks in here anyway. I will try and find the script for you and post it over at the Music Radio Creative community that you can find over at community.musicradiocreative.com. So I hope that is helpful for you. Before getting back into some more audio, let's see if there are any more questions to answer right now for you. A lot of questions. Like I say, this edition is working really well, but I think we've covered off most of the questions for the moment. It's been really, really good to have this all working nice and slick as well on the live stream today, which is indeed what we like. There are obviously a few more here. Yes, I did say automagically. You're welcome, Edwald S, for the answer there. Bob Skinner is talking there to Nightbot, who is our resident piece of code looking after things in the YouTube chat today. I'm going to do a little bit more on this underwater sound, and then I'm going to move over to a little bit of sound reduction for Nitin on Facebook Live, who would like to see that happening. Ule is saying the bubbles are more disliked than Nightbot today. Indeed. There you go. Wow, so much stuff going on in the chat. Sorry if I can't mention all your live chat comments. I do appreciate them, and I do try to flip through and read them after the show, and obviously react to any of them in the community afterwards as well. I think Nightbot actually keeps a nice log now of YouTube live chats, which is great, so I can look through at leisure after the show, which is good. But obviously, if you ask a question, then we can feature that now with a new excellent YouTube question lower third plugin for the stream. Jack's in on Facebook Live. Good to see you there. Really excellent to see you there. And we're going to hop back in now and have a little play here.
Where is the exit? I can't find anywhere.
So as you can hear, everything is kind of wobbling away there. What I might do is go on and play with a little bit more filter and EQ and see what we can do here. Let's go for the scientific filter. And we'll go for default, and this is rolling off a lot of the trebles. So you can hear here, as I put on the scientific filter and cut off anything above 268 hertz, it's making my audio virtually indistinguishable. So, excuse me. If we go now in and have a look, let's see, scientific filter actually is not available as an EQ automation. That's such a shame. Let's have a look for some other kind of EQ then. What about the FFT filter? I wonder if we can do automations on our FFT filter. No. So there's only certain types of EQ that actually work inside the automation. Let's try this one. Yes, parametric equalizer, and we can do so much here. So much. So let's try and design something a little similar. If we do this and get rid of some of these numbers here, like so, And we've got, yeah, that's essentially a very similar effect to the scientific filter there. And we were cutting off at about 268, 267 there. And now if I go to parametric equalizer and switch on the high shelf gain, I think that is. Let's have a look. Yep, there you go. You can see in real time that's changing the high shelf gain. So if we start that in neutral here, and then we can bring this down just a little bit, as much as we like. And just try and EQ this up. Turn that volume up a bit so we can hear more.
I'm back underwater again. What's going on? I don't know which way to turn. Where is the exit? I can't find anywhere. I need to find a place to get and then Oh!
There we go. And then just at the end bit, I'm going to and knock off the phaser. Now, you can get really confused with your lines, but if you hover over all the automation lines here, you will see that Adobe Audition helps you by telling you which automation you're working with. So the phaser mix I'm taking off at this point here.
Oh my goodness!
And maybe roll up some of that.
Oh my goodness! Well,
Now we still have some bass rolled off here as well, so let's just bring that into.
Oh my goodness! Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while.
There we go. And maybe just to add some atmosphere finally in this section to everything, I am going to bring in reverb, studio reverb here. And that would be good, say, if you were in like a swimming pool or something like that.
Oh my goodness! Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while.
There would definitely be some reverb going on in there. You've got different room ambiances you can use as well.
Oh my goodness! Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while.
So that would be a smaller kind of room that we're working with there. We can make the room bigger.
Oh my goodness! Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while. Oh my goodness! Well, I stayed underwater for quite a while.
There we go. So there we go. We got lots of underwater effects there. Lots of good fun. And I've got to thank you very much, by the way, for your comments. Jack over on Facebook Live has said, I'm learning how to edit from Spain. I am on holiday. And let's have a look at what's been going on over in the YouTube live chat. We've got Barbara who's in the chat as well. It's very nice to have you there. What else have we got here? We've got Bob just realized I was on Facebook, not YouTube. Often the case. Facebook Live, YouTube. You can choose any of those locations and more, thanks to a service that I use at mrc.fm/restream. Lots of comments on the bubbles that I had in the background, clearly playing havoc with the stream today. Any chance you can do gun effects? Oh, that was a question from earlier, wasn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Weird glitter, the bubbles in the background there. What else have we got here in the chat today? Thank you, Mike, for the joy. Nightbot. Poor Nightbot is only doing his best, says Ule. Sometimes he's a bit destructive. Yeah, we might have to try and dial down those settings somehow. We've got Anthony here. Sounds like Isabella caught you taking the grocery money and is torturing you under the water. Yes, it's a good sound effect, isn't it? So yeah, Ule has rightly said Nightbot has been removing messages with URLs, too many emojis, messages in caps, and for posting any comments rapidly. But I do believe there is an option to dial down inside Nightbot, so we can definitely look into improving the efficiency and the friendliness of Nightbot on the stream, as I don't think anyone is deliberately going over the top really in the comments there. That I have to say is for certain. And Pete, my apologies. I did not realize you're female, so that's absolutely wonderful. I can't see your real name, obviously, from your nickname. So thank you very much for letting me know, Pete. And thank you for recording those wonderful sound effects, by the way, that I've used during my stream today. Taylor says hello. Taylor, it's great to see you back in the stream. And David Day, hello from Thailand. Wonderful to have you watching today as well, David. David says that Nightbot gets picky at 4 emojis plus. So just careful with the usage of those emojis in the live chat today, and remember to live long and prosper. Just use those friendly emojis. Toilet torture, says Isabella. Christopher's in. How long till I can review this on your channel? Missed the beginning. Usually YouTube makes everything available straight after the show. So yeah, that's usually what happens, but I don't know. Sometimes it takes a little while to process, but you can go to other places like facebook.com/musicradiocreative, usually posts up there. Twitch.tv/musicradiocreative is another cool place you can hop into if you want to grab the replay as well. It's only available on Twitch for 14 days. But yeah, we're on so many platforms that you definitely will not miss an episode, even if you can't show up for the live stream, as I appreciate many of you do show up. Remember the community over here at community.musicradiocreative.com to continue the conversation afterwards. And if you would like to grab yourself an intro, like the intro I use to start the show, it's kind of, let's start it from around here.
Stand by
for Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell.
MRC Live. Music Radio Creative Live.
With Mike Russell.
Starting in 30 seconds.
Well, this is only available until Monday of next week. So if you're listening this week, that is on Tuesday, the 15th of August 2017. This YouTube intro, customized for your radio show, podcast, or YouTube live stream, is available to purchase right now at mrc.fm/intro. That is mrc.fm/intro. We'll customize it with your show name, your podcast name, your live stream name, and send it out to you. So get in on that. It's only available for a 1 week only exclusive product there. mrc.fm/intro is the place to go. Now, I did promise, we had a question earlier on over on Facebook Live from Nitin saying, I'm trying to remove humming sounds from audio. Well, as when you do noise reduction, it can sometimes sound a bit watery. If you go too far with the dials. I will show you some noise reduction with a cool plugin that I actually tested out, and I created a video about it earlier on today. You can see it on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. But I wanted to introduce you to a plugin for sound reduction that I've tested out and really quite like. It's called SoundSoap 5. You can get either SoundSoap 5 or SoundSoap Plus 5 from Antares Audio. You might have heard of Antares Audio as they make the fantastic world-class auto-tune plugin. It's probably what they're best known for. I hope to use some more of their plugins. Oh, that's very nice. We've got DJ Jupiter 2 following me on Twitch and sending a zombie my way. I think I might change that animated GIF. Not quite in theme with the show, is it? Anyway, Antares, oh, thank you, Juan, amazing, has sent $100 Mexican to the show as a super chat. Wow, Juan, you are absolutely amazing. Really, really appreciate you. That's a fantastic donation. And I'm glad, because I remember you did say in the community you were having trouble donating to the show. So I'm glad you managed to get super chat work. That's fantastic. Viper Chuck, welcome to the community. It's really wonderful to see you there too. So Antares, I really hope to get in touch with other plugin designers. So if you are a plugin designer for audio editors, do get in touch with me. When I look at and review these plugins, I don't get any kind of kickback or any commission for doing this. So I'm not recommending you something because I'm going to make money if you go ahead and purchase the plugin. I am genuinely interested in looking at audio plugins and featuring them in the show if they're good, and showing you how they work. And SoundSoap Plus happens to be one of the plugins that I think is really rather good. And also it's It's good for somebody who wants to do noise reduction, but doesn't really want to get into the nitty gritty of, oh, I need to, change my decibels here and up my frequencies here. It's very much, I call it easier to use than my microwave because it looks like my microwave, but it's got less dials and knobs. Or maybe a couple more dials than my oven, but less dials than my microwave. So I can kind of microwave the audio and make it come out well. So I'm just going to switch off all of this noise reduction for the moment and play you what we have here. This is actually something that Caddo posted in the Music Radio Creative community. Loads of noise on this. Have a listen.
Hello friends, welcome to my another video. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to install the sudo.
So I think there's more noise than speech there. And as you can see, you get wonderful spectral display there. You can flip between spectral and waveform in SoundSoap Plus. And the coolest thing is it will learn, just like Adobe Audition's noise reduction or sound removal tool works, by you playing noise only, something like this, and then holding the learn button. So I'm going to play that on loop like this, and then I'm going to hold learn down. And it's learning the sound there. And you can hear the sound is gradually degrading. There we go. I think we've learnt the audio. And look at that. As you can see, left to right on the spectral display, that audio is getting pretty much scrubbed out. The dials will usually be tweaked for you as well. And just by doing that and nothing else, this is now what we've got.
Hello friends, welcome to my another video. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to install the...
And then with the sound reduction off.
Hello friends.
So there you go. You could literally finish there if you wanted to with SoundSoap 5 or SoundSoap Plus 5. Absolutely amazing algorithm for learning noise and cutting it out. But you might want to go into further detail. The noise tuner will tune the noise, and the noise reduction will generally choose how much are you reducing that noise. So I'm not going to move those dials because I quite like them. We can listen to noise only here. So this will cut out the speech and leave us with a noise. Turn the plug-in on and have a listen. So there you go. That's just leaving the noise that has been pulled out. And again, I really think this is good for podcasters with audio problems. David's being perfectionist, of course, one of our pros in the chat today, saying a bit warbly, but not too bad. But then you've got to remember, David, I don't think the audio or the microphone this chat was recording on was too good in the first place. Now, I know Nitin was particularly asking about removing ground hum. It's got a ground hum dial here. It's off at the moment, but I can change it to 50 hertz or 60 hertz. Spectral frequency display here. If we go in and Command Shift or Control Shift of your PC up and down, we can just zoom in and we can see that line there is rolling through halfway between 100. So I'd say that's a 50 hertz hum. Let's see.
Hello friends, welcome to my another video.
And then the enhancer here will actually add on frequencies, restore lost frequencies. At the moment I'm enhancing mids and highs, but I can enhance low and high, that kind of loudness smile.
Hello friends, welcome to my...
But that's all a bit basic. I think I probably want to take the bass out of his voice and leave mids and highs.
Hello friends, welcome to my another video.
Just a world of difference here. Play with the harmonics here, the hum harmonics to remove on your hum.
Hello friends, welcome to my...
But actually we don't really need that at the moment. Declicking is if you have a clicky piece of audio, not in this case. Then we've got low cut and high cut on the frequencies that we're working with. Overall frequencies on the audio. I won't touch them, I'll leave them. I might actually move the high cut, let's try that.
Hello friends, welcome to my another video. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to install the...
That sounds good. And low cut.
Hello friends, welcome to my another video.
So we can cut off some of the lows as well. And finally, if we really wanted to level it up, this de-expand here works along with your waveform view, which is really cool. Thank you, David, saying very nice now. Oh, by the way, I can see lots of questions about this coming in. Christopher, yes, SoundSoap works on PC and Mac. And Scott rightly says that it's 60 hertz ground hum in the United States. Hello, friends, and welcome back to my another video. Max is quoting there in the chat. It's quite hilarious. And lots of wows and oohs and ahs. Yeah, it really is a good plugin. Here in the waveform view, I can change the threshold here. Look at that. Whee! Like that. And that's the threshold for my de-expander. It's kind of like a noise gate. That's basically what it is.
Hello.
And hello, friends.
Hello friends. Hello.
There we go. So we just need to find where the sweet spot is for his speech, which is about there, and then whack up the de-expander, and that's going to further noise gate out any noise to really attack this like a beast. Watch this. The de-expander is now kicking in.
Hello friends.
But obviously set it too high and threshold too low, and we're going to have some attack on his voice.
Hello friends. Welcome to my another video.
I probably won't use that, but if you had a really noisy environment, the de-expander would totally annihilate noise for you. So Sound Soap, it's kind of got a watery, washy kind of thing, so I thought I'd tie it into this stream. And also, it's a plugin I'm excited about, so I wanted to let you know about it. There is a tutorial video on my channel, so if you want to go into depth with this and learn what all the dials do, youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Give me a subscribe, and outside of this live stream, go and chat in the live community. Huge shout out to all the moderators. We've had Ule, we've had Isabella, we've had Joe, we've had David as an addition to the mods because he got banned by Nightbot, so now he's a moderator as well. And you're very welcome as well, by the way, David. Thank you for all your comments. Apologies if I didn't get to them all. I try to get to as many as I can in a live stream, but do continue the conversation and ask your questions over at community.musicradiocreative.com. And I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. UK time with a live stream. More of your questions and answers thanks to Ule's amazing plugin coming up on tomorrow's live stream.